There's always a way.
Round 2. Fight!
One more dead enemy.
Final round. Fight!
Crush your enemies.
Brutality. Conan wins.
So I think, a lot of times when characters hold a weapon, I'll say, and of course they use in the normals and all that, and he's no different. You can see his uppercut uses his sword, his jabs, instead of punching, their swords. His down three, his sword.
He's got a sword, he's got to use it.
Right, he uses it. It is huge, just like him, and it takes up a ton of range.
Oh, what's his gear piece?
His gear piece is
The
his
sword!
He also, though, has some really cool palettes.
Okay.
Including some that are not just his furry trunks thing. So let's go into some of his more unique normal attacks. He has his back one, which has really good range and is quick.
And is advancing?
And it's very fancy.
Yeah.
They are highs, so the opponent can jab under them, but they're really good in the neutral.
Mm-hmm.
He also has forward two, which is kind of his big standard bearer, mid-long range attack, and you want to go into, you can hit confirm into a
Beefy
combo.
chop.
The last hit is actually plus on block if they block the big boot, but it's a high, so you can duck it. So you're going to have to trick them, commit to a special move, cut it out early, or you just commit, and if they block, you get advantage. Another one I wanted to show was his forward 3-3. Which I think is one of the coolest looking normals.
It's pretty awesome.
I was gonna say that it's my favorite normal, just because the how it stops the way it does.
So this has two variations. If you end in 2, he does a quick overhead that splats them. If you end in 3, he does a low that trips them up, and he actually gets a pop up, and that's going to be one of his main combo starters. Then I wanted to talk about 2 moves that he has that he can actually charge up. So he has back 2. Swipes him up in the air, pretty standard stuff. If you hold the button,
You can charge?
you can charge it, and it becomes a pop-up.
Ooh.
And it's probably the highest pop-up.
It's a heck of a pop-up. Now he also has something neat from it. You can actually cancel it. You can charge it, or he can cancel it into a throw, or his fatal blow, which we'll be showing later. So if the opponent's standing there and they're blocking it, you can go into a throw to catch them off guard.
Okay.
The same applies to back 3. See, he does this big knee, knees you in the gut, or he can charge it, and it actually knocks them away and becomes advantage on block. And from there, he can cancel into throw, fatal blow, or this move he can cancel into backdash or forward dash.
Okay.
So something you're going to see with Conan across the board is he's going to kind of end these strings, and then he can do these charge-up moves, and the opponent's going to have to decide, do they want to try to poke out of it? Do they want to block and then he's at advantage? Do they want to just block and hope that, you know, throw and you can escape the throw and all that kind of good stuff.
So while being a kind of a pick-up-and-play brawly kind of character, also has some of those higher execution tricks he can do as well. Not super
they're
high
not
execution.
high execution at all, because
Okay.
you're just holding the button and, you know, canceling back and forth. But a little bit of spice.
Little spice.
Yeah, spice. Oh, we said there would be a little spice.
And then the last normals I wanted to go over, which I think are the ones that appeal to you, he has 3 different strikes that go into a throw. So this one ends in an overhead, and it goes into a grab animation. But this one is an actual throw that'll throw the opponent if they're blocking. And then he has 2-2 throw, where he will throw the opponent if they're blocking. You can end combos with it, and you can use mix-ups, like maybe you go into a special move if they try to jump out of the throw. And lastly, this has another little twist. If you do 2-2 by itself, it actually restands. So if you go into a combo, he can do it, leave them restanding, he gets a little bit of frame advantage, and then you can go into some of your mix-ups. You can go into that. You can go into a throw. You could go into your forward 3-3 mix-ups.
Excellent.
And then let's check out his throw before we go into a special move.
Gotta love the throws. So much blood.
And here's his cameo throw. I love this pose.
He just over the sword.
So you can see that's his normal attacks. It's pretty much exactly what you'd want from Conan the Barbarian. You know, not a lot of fancy. He is not doing spinning kicks at all. He's doing big boots, knees, and sword strikes.
This stage got real bloody real fast.
I was about to point that out.
Yeah.
And I'm not resetting it yet.
All right.
So, you want to go over his special moves?
Yep.
All right. So the first one I want to show is his spin, sword spin. Down forward 1, he does a spinny spin spin.
Spinny spin spin.
It's a good combo ender. You can end your strings with it. And it has a neat effect where it will actually reflect projectiles. And it will reflect them in a random direction.
Oh. Ooh, look at that go.
But the EX one will reflect it straight.
Right back at him.
And the EX one has a really neat feature. So normally you do the EX, spinny spin spin, knocks them down. However, if you use one more bar, in addition to EXing it, he can cancel a normal cameo move or another special move into it. So here's like a normal. Do spinny spin, and I'm doing 2-2, and it'll go into his 2-2 string. So you can go into the restand, or you can do it with cameos. And I'm going to call out Frost.
Awesome.
So you can use 2 bars to do it because you have to EX it and then you have to cancel it, but you can get bigger combos, ground combos, cameo setups, you name it. So it's reflex projectiles, ends combos, and extends combos.
It does it all.
So a lot of things it can do, and again, big brawly character, but some very interesting spice on some of the things he does.
But not high execution.
Right.
You literally just mash out the moves. So then let's go over his sword spin. This is back forward 4, and he turns around and spins this 100-pound sword a
Like
couple
it's
of different
nothing.
times. This is another, again, you can use this to end your strings. You can use this to punish moves from a distance. The EX move has armor, so it's going to be one of his better armored attacks. You think the opponent's going to try to poke out of one of those mix-ups I mentioned? Nope, I don't think so, sir. Sit down. Or you can use it to, maybe they're throwing a projectile from half screen. Or you just want to look cool, you can EX it.
I mean, it is looking pretty cool. It is looking pretty cool.
Let's also go over his counter. So he has this parry where he hooks up, and
Come
if
at me.
the
Come at
opponent tries to do an attack, he bops them on the head and then gets a stagger, and that lets him go into a combo.
Bop.
Bop, and then he gets a full combo, and that'll parry mids, highs, and overheads. Then let's go over...
There's more?
There's a little bit more.
Okay.
Let's go over his airstrike. So this is a move, down back 2. He leaps into the air with a sword attack. This is mainly his pop-up starter. It can also be used as a preemptive anti-air, and he can hold forward to jump a little bit higher. And on EX, it adds the little flourish for more hits. And that's going to be kind of the key to starting his combos with his special moves.
Very cool. I like the effects that run down the sword as you're charging it up.
Yes.
It's so cool.
Let's also go over his sword uppercut, which is down forward 2. If you hit 1 after, he does this downward strike. You can use that as an anti-air, you can use it to finish your combos, and the EX version has armor, a reoccurring theme. So if they're trying to poke you, if they're trying to anti-air you, all that kind of business, you can use the armor. You don't have to do the second strike, but it's available to get extra damage and to fake out if they're going to try to punish the regular version. You can also do the downward strike as its own special move, as down forward 1 in the air, which you can use as almost like a dive kick, except
It's a dive
he
sword.
would never dive kick.
It's a dive sword.
That's for girly then. That's a dive sword.
Love it.
Let's also go over his sword run. And then
Is there armor?
Oh yeah.
Ah, I knew it.
This is the armored move of armored moves. Back forward 3, he'll start running,
Ah!
and you can let the button go and do the strike. You can cancel it, so he can stop, go for a throw, go for a charge, let it go. The EX version has armor. And the neat thing is if he's close, the animation actually changes, and he just straight up
Yeah, that's
bobs
awesome.
you instead of running.
Very cool.
Let's also go over one more move, 2 actually. One, it was one of the best parts of the trailer, his cameo throw. Down forward, L2, and he literally picks up his cameo and throws them at him.
It's a new way to use your cameo.
Yeah, they agreed to sign on
Yeah.
to help Conan the
They signed the
Barbarian.
contract.
Right.
So he is not a guy that's going to throw projectiles. He's not going to use,
gonna
you know,
throw
magic
another
spell.
person.
Yeah, he throws a human being. You do have to wait for the cameo to come back before, you know, you can't spam it, you can't use cameo
Right.
moves, but you essentially have a projectile that does a big chunk of damage and takes up a ton of space.
And looks awesome.
And it looks really, really
awesome.
funny. And then his last special move is one of the neatest. We're not going to show it completely here.
So after this, there is a QA fight, which we always do. You'll be able to see it in that as well. So
But let's show it. If he's low on health, he has about 30% left. He can coat himself in this blood, and if you kill him in this state, the spirit of Quam will appear, and he will actually fight it and resurrect with a little bit of health back.
Ooh, so he has a resurrect.
He
there's a
does.
little chance to come back. there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
And I think we have one more thing to show. You guys want to see the fatal blow?
Do it.
Yes.